Fresh best of 3 here. It's actually Europe versus NA, as Kelazhur is over in the Netherlands. But he's still NA in our hearts. Even though he's from Brazil. Anyways. In the top right, as the blue Terran, it is Kelazhur. In the bottom left of Eternal Empire, we have the red Zerg, JonSnow. So this will officially be the last series, even if it's 20 minutes long. Might end the stream with a little bounty as well. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm actually really interested in this one. I really like the Assassin's Creed games. I liked the first two. Like, I played the first two when they were both released, and I liked them. Never finished the second one, though. And then I kind of, like, stopped playing them. Stopped playing console games, really. So I missed 3 and Brotherhood and whatever else came out and all that. But I got Odyssey on a Twitch bounty. That was a pretty sweet deal. I sunk a lot of hours in that game. I'm gonna start Origins soon, too. But Valhalla looked cool.
Warning. Flowing through this program's detected in comm server 04.
Thank you very much, Starlord Shelter, for the 2 gifted subs. Thank you. Should do some sub love. Alright, so classic matchup when we're going back to 3 or 4 years ago. They're both representatives of the North American scene. Kelazhur living in America and living in the root house and all that. And JonSnow actually being from the United States. And they both were doing really well. JonSnow was in college for a lot of his career that we like know of him doing well, but he still managed to balance it well with being a very good player. Kelazhur, I believe, had more years as like a full-time player, but he had that point where he was almost the next best foreigner Terran. And moved on, as did JonSnow. Kelazhur moved on to studying, and JonSnow moved on to the real world. But they're both still pretty good. So at one point, this would have been the hypest match of North America, perhaps. Well, excluding things like Neeb versus Scarlet and Special versus Scarlet and stuff like that. Maybe not so much anymore, but it does throw me back. I'm feeling like a bit of nostalgia, and I like seeing them playing each other again. Born in Florida. Did I say he was born in Brazil? I mean, you put it, you detailed it. Being in America full-time from 2015 on is actually not that long. Born in Florida, but live your life in Brazil until you're... Huh, actually, how old is Kelazhur? How old was he 5 years ago? Until you're 18? I don't know, it's a guess. Eh, Brazilian. That's a faster layer there for JonSnow. The knight at the third base. It's only proper if we got some revenge. Whatever he's planning on doing with that layer. It's already done at 4 minutes. Close to being done anyways. 2-base lair? 2-base spire? Kelazhur's going for Hellion Banshees after all that harassment in the early game. Looking for more harassment. There is that spire. There it is. So eventually a third base will come down. Good scan from Kelazhur to confirm that. Just directs his mind to what he should do next. Actually scouting for the Overlord is not there. As far as I know, Kelazhur's still a bunch of bio players. So I don't think he changes that. I think he's going to go bio anyways. But the timings, the pacing of the game going to be certainly a little bit different. Generally, you can still afford to go for a third CC. It's tough, but it's doable. Looks like Kelazhur is going to slap down those 2 barracks faster instead, however. Stim is on the way. There's the Baneling Nest. Gotta get the Baneling Nest for the early game and mid-game defense. Centrifugal hooks, pretty important as well. A Spire can only carry you so far. If they actually just punch you in the face with like a 2-1-1, you'd still be in a difficult position, but it's clearly not a 2-1-1. Here's the 2 engineering bays. Did he forget the third? Am I blind? Did I miss the third? Usually you don't get 2 engineering bays this fast unless... Okay. Alright, yeah, I guess this actually makes sense. The order is a little bit different, but still the same idea. Actually, probably the best way to do this, in fact. Probably the best way. That's why he's doing it. So yeah, he's still going to 3rd CC. You know, like 2 base shenanigans here. I don't think anyone really cares... he was supply blocked. That's funny. I don't think anyone really cares about the Assassin's Creed's, like, modern story. You know, the one where they're, like... present times and going back in the past to try... Like, everyone just mostly cares about the game itself's a story, and then... Even then, not so much. Everyone just wants to be an assassin. Thanks for Dragon. Hey, it was pretty close. Well, Hellions go down. You don't necessarily want to just give them up like that. Most of them died. These two very, very weak. Just in case they also have a Ling Flood, but that's not the case here. Oh, I think Kelazhur meant to take that fight. Okay. I couldn't tell if he was mismicroing his Marines or mismicroing his Banshees. But his Marines took an okay fight and his Banshees died, so apparently it was that. Banshees could have survived a little while longer, just kind of moved off to the side to deny a 4th base, but they tried to go for drones instead, didn't get too much done. Meat accounts, lost 2 of them. That's 7. It's really not too good there. C3 is the worst of the series. I thought there was a bunch of other miscellaneous Assassin's Creeds that got made fun of. Like Unity? Is that a thing? Until they went back to something cool like Egypt, I was like, I don't even care anymore. And then they released the Egypt one, and I was like, oh, maybe, but just never got around to buying it. The only reason I got back into it was honestly because I got Odyssey for free. Combat Shield's on the way. Drilling Claw's already on the way. Oh, wow. He's actually expediting that by swapping his tech lab factory onto a tech lab. Usually you would have a reactor until you added a second factory. Interesting. 2 Hellions should get bopped by the Nidus pretty quickly. Oh, shit, they did it. Oh, oh, oh. Turning into Hellbats, not too bad of an idea. JonSnow getting that top 4th base, opposed to the bottom one. It's actually a little tricky. This one provides that nice concave, but kind of like ditto for the Zerg. They can come in from different directions and come in from that direction as well. You take this one and they get set up here, you're still going through a choke. They are too, but that's a little more deadly on your side as the Zerg, so it can be frightening. And Kelazhur is looking to still do the push, but he did buy a lot of time with the muta harassment. JonSnow now regrouping and actually ready to take... Well, at least force a siege. He's at least going to force a siege. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't think he's actually... I don't know if he's actually the right into a attack off of creep, man. There's maybe some logic into getting ahead of the engagement, however, and he did take out the tanks, so that probably was worth it at the end of the day. Still has all the creeps tried to work with a decent number of banelings against only Marines. I guess that was the right call. Of course, if Kelazhur was paying attention from the get-go and had sieged up his tanks, then it's a bad idea from JonSnow, but caught him a little unawares. Kelazhur could just split from this one, however. Just a nice little concave right there. There we go. And a double boom. That's a Zerg. That's a Terran thing. And then the Zerg... Oh, and then the Zerg dies. JonSnow might have been in the right the first time, but he was not in the right the second time. This is a game over amount of units right now. Game over, man. It's game over. JonSnow trying to survive. Loses the 4th base. Definitely the right call. The best call he can make, but ouch. JonSnow also going to go for a run by, which again is the proper thing to try and bring back this game in his favor, but Kelazhur just kicked him in the nuts a little bit there. It's going to be doubled over for a while. Another fourth base at the top left. There is some okay creep spread up there. Usually it's a little more lackluster, so this actually isn't a terrible idea. Liberators can harass it, and you are expanding towards your opponent as well, which is generally not what you want to do, but even taking a preemptive fight again, finding Kelazhur on the edge of creep with every one of his army, whatchamacallits, members? Every bit of his army, there you go. Now trying to do the same thing on this side. Not going to go as well. He got us around in that top left battle, which really helped. Forced Kelazhur to try and take the best fight by just simply focus firing the mutas. This one, a little more off creep, not getting us around. Kelazhur just concaved, and JonSnow does not take a chunk of supply away from Kelazhur. He did still save his fourth base, and now he's getting a fifth. And he can try to respread that creep, but he needs to keep up the aggression, keep Kelazhur on his toes. But oh, the Widowmines with Drilling Claws. A couple of mutas going down, a couple of banelings going down. JonSnow, every time he seems to make the right move by being overly aggressive, he immediately follows up with a bad move, being aggressive. And Kelazhur might have just taken too much of a lead once again. Have to sacrifice the fourth base, which only just got to mining. 2-2 has been even, but Kelazhur's working on that 3-3, and that is a death sentence. The muta count also never getting to the extreme amount of like 30. It's been cut to less than 20, I believe, for most of this game. Wouldn't mind even bothering him at his fourth base. Can't be a pirate in those games, or can I? Actually, you can. I don't know about Origins, but in Odyssey, you can sail a ship and wage war. Oh, God. Wage war. It's so hard to say. JonSnow trying to get some decent engagements. The Kelazhur's not quite split, not quite burrowed with those Widowmines. Doesn't work out this time either. Creep spread almost non-existent around this base. Probably another base I'll have to give up and then maybe try and hide from this one, but that's, I don't know. Coming from two different directions really only works if you're on creep and with a lot more units supporting it. The mutas can't help out because the Thors and Widowmines are both here. JonSnow not ready to tap out of this game yet, but he's down 70 supply. He's down in those upgrades now with +3 attack finishing. And Kelazhur is not letting him come back in this one. GG. So far, Odyssey's my favorite Assassin's Creed because the chick you can play as is really cool. Her voice actress and the guy voice actor did like a cute little video. It's like 8 minutes long where they answer questions in character. And... whoops, the wrong race for JonSnow. And they keep on, like, they have a running joke, because it's like almost a running joke in the community. It's like a meme of the community. That's, Cassandra, the chick, is actually the canon character, because everyone assumes the guy would be the canon character. The guy is supposed to be the character you are supposed to play, but, everyone thinks Cassandra is better. Kind of like femship, I guess. Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy, like femship. And I think actually the developers might have come out and said that she is actually the canon character, but I don't remember. But yeah, she's cool. I also love the voice. I love the accent, man. Like, apparently people were kind of complaining about some of them sounding, like, more fake than others. I can't tell. I mean, whatever. Every accent sounds correct to me. I don't know. or that it's like totally unnecessary. It doesn't really draw you into the world anymore. But I really like it. I don't know. Greek accents, I didn't think I'd have a thing for until I played Odyssey, and apparently I do now. Anywho. In the bottom left of Zen, we have Kelazhur. And in the top right, as the red Zerg, it is JonSnow. An uncomfortable game from start to finish for him. Denied that third base, kind of changed his mind, went for a 2-base Spire. I didn't have a bad execution on it, but I don't think it was what exactly he wanted. It was scouted as well, and Kelazhur was able to go for 2 barracks before third CC. Which I think usually what happens is you slap that third CC down, and then you scout it, and you're like, oh, okay, let's respond. Which put him up well against the initial 7-9 mutas or whatever it was. So he took that good engagement around his third. Got his third as quickly as he would like. No stalling it out with lings or mutas or anything like that. And then he had his concert pressure on JonSnow. JonSnow had a couple of good ideas by being aggressive. Matched by a couple of bad ideas with being aggressive. It really was two sides to the style that you can play with that composition. When more than 5 people go GG, can we get a bot that says GG? I don't program stuff. I hire Fear Dragon. No spoilers, please. It's a good thing I didn't spoil, because that's on 2-minute delay, man. But fortunately, again, because Assassin's Creed isn't really about its story, I didn't even feel the need to spoil it, you know? Like, it wasn't even part of the, it wasn't part of the appeal. Oh man, that twist at the end, you've got to play. Like, it's not even one of those things. GG version, yeah. Oh, Reaper harassment. This time I'm not going to block out that third hatch. That's the good news. No CD scout to help him. Couple extractor tricks and you're good to go. Is that a second Reaper? Has been coming back into play. Kelazhur in particular has been doing this amongst these qualifiers that I've seen. 50-50 in the beginning of the game is quite expensive. It's not unheard of. Used to be 3 Reaper normal, actually. 2 or 3 Reapers was very normal, but moved on, streamlined the process, got a new economy, Legacy of the Void, and all that jazz, and we stopped going for multiple Reapers with our Hellions. Complaints seem like Greek accents are modern. Are you telling me that they didn't actually force their voice actors to replicate ancient Greek? That's so silly. That's not the complaints I've seen. I've seen more along the lines of they can't do it correctly anyways. Because yeah, they're not going to be able to replicate BC Greek. So why even bother? But I actually really like it. I really do. I think it also opened up more opportunities for voice actors who don't necessarily get gigs when they, don't have an accent, because there's oversaturation there, but suddenly you're like, someone has to have a Greek accent and they can do it. I don't know. I think the thing is that Cassandra's voice actor was actually Greek, as in she grew up in Greece, rather, and what's his face? I forget the guy's name, to be honest. Is Greek, but doesn't have an accent naturally, I think is one of the complaints. Thank you, JoePro99 for 7-month resub. But it'd be like having, like a game set in 1400s England and expect them to be able to voice act that, how they actually talked English, which was different than us, and it's not gonna happen. No. I'm actually reconsidering downloading it, but Origins was on sale for like 75% off or something a couple days ago, so I'm probably gonna start that up soon. I really want to beat The Witcher first, even though it's not my favorite game. It's still pretty mediocre, even though I finally figured out the mechanics and like where to go and stuff. It's still like, I don't know, I think it's really overhyped, but I want to finish it. So, you know, remind me in 80 hours. And Reapers died, which is actually really unfortunate. Kelazhur, like, a Reaper is already annoying enough with a Hellion. 2 Reapers is also not quite double the annoyingness, but still. But they died, staying where they were against Lynx rounds. Now the Hellions are all alone, trying to harass Queens and Creep Tumors, and it doesn't go that well. JonSnow does go for a Roach Warren here, up on top, actually. So that's going to be a different way to play. Banshees waited until they were a pair. Come in and grab 3, maybe 4 drones. JonSnow trying to pull away the drones. The Micro's not going so poorly, and then he stops because his Queen's supposed to be there, so he loses 4 more. 5 more. Good Banshee harassment from Kelazhur. He's trying to get his 3rd CC up. Bit of Overlord creep. Overlord poop. Obviously, you can't plant stuff on poop, guys. That's gross. Don't do that. Aliens are pushed back by the roaches. JonSnow going for 1-1. Might just be going ahead and going for a literal 1-1 roach push. I'm feeling it. I think it's going to happen. 4th base is going to come down, but not really be that saturated. And you're going to attack with that 1-1. I feel it. I feels it. Comes and goes, though, to be honest. Sometimes you see this all the time. Maybe on Zen, maybe on something else. And then other times it doesn't happen whatsoever. You know, Rogue doesn't IM Katowice. Twice, 3 times. Oh, once on this map, actually. And then no other Zerg does it for a while, you know? It can be something that's Zerg... The Terran player is like, oh, roaches. Oh, roaches, you know? Like, as they get attacked by the 1-1. Or it's something that they are actually accustomed to. Saying, oh, some guy just did this to me. I'm going to be totally prepared for this. But it's not just a 1-1 roach push to the face. We have a Nidus Worm on the way, so it adds that complexity. If he got tanks really quickly, if he kept building tanks as well, didn't swap over to Widow Mines, if he gets a wall, the 1-1 roach attack gets far less dangerous. Nidus Worm pops in the main base, well, it's dangerous again. So, and there is a spot for the Nidus Worm back here that I think JonSnow just scouted. Kelazhur with a double drop should be keeping tabs on the army and probably wondering why it's not attacking. If it is going to be a roach 1-1 push, it should probably be trying to kill me. And as the gears start turning, he might start thinking about a Nidus Worm, but it's already too late. Nidus Worm. Exact voice effects, by the way. Gets in the main base. That's already pretty bad. Tank pops out. Nope. Not going to live very long. Kelazhur stims back to deal with this, but he needs those tanks, and those tanks are going to take a while longer to respond. Hellions are part of the army, aren't really contributing, so it's a smaller army than it seems. The drop over here could have gotten for the 4th base, could have killed it. Oh, but oh no, it was actually defended here. The roaches, oh. If he had come back with 16 Marines, there's a decent chance he eventually holds this, but losing 2 medevac's worth of units? Well, JonSnow, he just did it, man. He won. Nidus Worm in the main was cruel. He was very cruel. JonSnow will still have his 4th base and a little bit of mining. He'll take control of the Terran's production, and hey, maybe he can't break the 3rd, or maybe he can. Doesn't matter. The main has been broken. There is definitely a point of which the roaches don't quite do enough damage, even though it looks like they do a lot. You have 4 CCs, almost 4 CCs. You have some opportunity for a counterattack. You still have a couple of tanks, and you start saying, okay, losing 43 workers isn't that big of a deal. But I'm not sure that's actually this game. Yeah, he's going to finally tap out. You definitely still want to stay in longer than you would think sometimes. But that was just way too much. Way too much. I just got a message from one of my best friends. I think she confused my birthday with my friend's birthday. Maybe just a little bit. She says, happy birthday, I forgot to say earlier. And I'm like, well, it's tomorrow, so. You can tell you have highest expectations when you're like, I want to play this game. It's pretty mediocre. I spent $60 on this game. Back when everyone was like, The Witcher's so good. The Witcher's so good. You gotta buy it. Okay, I probably spent more like 40. I probably got it on a sale. But still, I spent money on that game. I'm gonna play it. Beep, 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 beep. Alright, game number 3 here. Whoops-a-daisy. On the top right, he is Kelazhur. Bottom left of Everdream, we have the red Zerg, JonSnow. Really, it was the medic, not the medevac. The medevac is boring. It's basically a dropship, which is boring. The medic is sexy. First it was the medic, and then it was the Nettisworm. Providing voice overs as well as sound effects. You're welcome. My friend lives in Europe as well. Well, that'd be a shock to me. Droga really has become the master of the meme, hasn't he? This is funny. How's it feel to be almost 21? Yeah, tomorrow is my 21st birthday. It's the first time I'm gonna get drunk. I have no idea what my tolerance is gonna be, guys. It's gonna be exciting. On sale and finally played it about 3 years later. Yeah, I probably bought The Witcher a couple years ago. Probably. I just want to like it so much, you know? Every time I start to, like, really like it, something else happens that I don't really care for, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I think just generally, The Witcher is just the setting doesn't really appeal to me very much. Think about the open world games that I have liked, and it's been either... I mean, Dragon Age doesn't really count as open world, to be honest, so let's... Not that, but, yeah, I guess I'm thinking of long-term RPGs more than I'm thinking of open world. So let's go with long-term RPGs. Like, you know, 30 plus hours at least RPGs. What type of... Which ones have interested me? Sci-fi? Mass Effect? Dragon Age was cool, but definitely not my favorite setting. Medieval is overdone. And Star Wars is cool. Medieval Final Fantasy is still I still like, so I don't know. I guess gritty, realistic medieval Poland is just not my bag. Some typical openers. Kelazhur going for no 2 Reapers this time. Getting the Reaper in the main base to do some scouting, see if there's a Roachborn being planted. There actually is. Oh, in there. Whoa, the Reaper see that? They did. Saw the Roachborn, saw the gases, saw the lair timing. Pretty nice Reaper scout. It sacrifices itself, so it won't be able to help out the Hellions, but probably for the best. 3rd CC is on the way. And once again, Hellion Banshee. JonSnow thinking maybe that 1-1 attack hit so well, let's do it again. Maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't know. I do think he'd be unlikely to find the Nidus Worm work again. Wow, I linked a Drogo tweet and it's like it summoned him, man. It's fucking Beetlejuice. Freebies! And drone transfer. Well, those were not freebies. 2 drones, were they worth all 6 lings? I don't know about that. Hellions, rather. Hellions go down, defenses go up. Kelazhur actually get a little bit scared by how many lings. The bunker is kind of funny because, like, against a ling, when that happens and the lings come to counterattack you, the worst thing about that is that they delay the 3rd CC. It's not that you have to build a bunker against it because your wall does the defense for you. But I guess he also saw the Roachborn and maybe was a little scared that those lings were just a precursor. But I think you quickly realize they are fine. They are not. Plus the Banshees would have helped that anyways against it. And yeah, the game goes on. But certainly the thing that sucks is that maybe his 3rd CC is taken a little bit later. I actually don't think that's even true. Most of the time when we see Hellions go down, there's the threat that that will happen. But it doesn't actually happen. Especially against, like, you know, you guys, like, us guys and Masters and Diamond and Bronze and whatever. Like, no, it's not true. If our Hellions aren't alive, they build 20 lings and we die. For pros, there is a time right now, if 20 lings ran in, it'd be really annoying. You lose a tank. But by the time, like, you really have someone able to dedicate to enough lings to do damage, these good Terran players actually have 3 barracks pumping Marines and a factory working. So it's not nearly as scary, but it can be. 3rd CC is down location about as quickly as you would want. He's building a 2nd wall, actually, to the side. So interesting expansion path on Everdream. I've been casting so many PVZs, it feels like, in PVTs on this map, that that's not what I expected, but it does put you in a position of both defending and attacking through here to here, and giving us high ground even, so that's interesting. If you expand here, but you still attack through here, there's a lot of run-by potential. So I actually really like this position better. Especially because he's building a wall to the right side. I really like that. Double drop, going to face against Roach Ravager Baneling, so not much they can do there, especially without upgrades. Speaking of upgrades, 1-1 is on the way, as well as centrifugal hooks. JonSnow did just go for a couple of roaches to add in Ravagers, not really dedicating to them, and even adding on a Spire. Well, 2 Banshees join the mix, 2 Queens. Be able to push them away with a Transfuse or 2. Got a couple Banelings, which apparently Kelazhur knows about. Wow, he was on top of that. Maybe he saw them with the Medivacs, the Lings running over there. I think Gerald is boring as a protagonist. Boring ass. I agree. I think he's cool, but not necessarily interesting. I don't have a stake in Gerald's life. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing I don't like about it, is I don't really feel for any of the characters right now. I feel like, some people will be like, we haven't played the original game, so that makes sense, but I feel like that's not really... That's not actually a requirement. It helps, but, you know, for Mass Effect, for instance, I actually always suggest people start with Mass Effect 2. I think it's a better game, more modern game than 1. Yet I feel like it still has all strong storytelling and character elements to it But you still immediately go, oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh my god, who's this? Oh my god, I really care about that person. So. I agree, Borsty, I agree. 5 bases now for JonSnow. Well protected. Ooh, spoke a little too soon. These Marines could dart in, but Kelazhur is focusing in 3 different places, actually. One over here, trying to push through the middle. Finding a decent amount of creep spread. That would be dangerous to run on top of, and you might need to clean that up first with a drop, but he's going to collect every drop, combine forces, and make a giant Terran push, basically. Still, at least 1 or 2 more creep timbers to clean up before he's really endangering life of this 4th base. Worst case scenario, JonSnow could probably sacrifice it if he has to, but he catches the tanks unguarded. The Marines pull back a little bit late. A lot of tanks going down to the corrosive battles. That last one actually does go down, but that's still 2 tanks and most of the Marines left over. All those Banelings when it crashed in. A couple effectively against the bio, some into the tanks, but not enough are left over to stop this situation. Now, Kelazhur can't just assume that. I mean, if he had a scan, maybe he would actually be like, okay, I can do this, but he knows he has to be careful. If there are backup 10, 15 Banelings coming in from the main base or something like that, he's in dangerous territory of losing this Marine ball. But they aren't here. JonSnow lost all of his Banelings in that desperate attack up the ramp, trying to jump on top of Kelazhur, and it failed. Corruptors do take out the medevacs, and Marines are still dangerously on creep whenever the Banelings do finish. But they take out a 5th base, a 4th base, tanks are still reinforcing, medevacs still reinforcing, 22 drones have also gone down. When you leave that many Marines left over with no Banelings to stop them, they will actually run away with the game. Kelazhur also getting a 4th base up now. He's looking to be in a winning position. Up 60 supply. He's gonna win. Gonna win. Oh, the unsiege, but not enough Banelings to matter. JonSnow, I think, was in a fine position, but just probably should have taken the attack by posturing more and buying more time and making the tough decision to, yeah, potentially give up the 4th base. Oh, he went blitz mode again.